The myth of Irish slavery in America has circulated widely, often blurring the lines between fact and fiction in discussions about the nation's past. This narrative suggests that Irish people were enslaved in the same way as Africans, creating confusion and distorting our historical understanding. Why does this myth persist? Examining the origins and reality behind these claims is essential, not just for historical accuracy, but also for appreciating the true legacy and impact of slavery in America. Getting the facts right matters for honest dialogue and education. The idea of Irish slavery stems largely from misread colonial records and exaggerations spread through 19th and 20th century propaganda. False equivalence between indentured servitude and slavery found new life in modern times, especially through viral memes and online articles. These misconceptions gain traction on social media, fueling debates not grounded in historical fact. As History.com explains, these narratives often distort the real experiences of both Irish immigrants and enslaved Africans in America. A crucial distinction exists between indentured servitude and chattel slavery. Indentured servants, including many Irish, entered into labor contracts for a set number of years, after which they could gain freedom and sometimes land. In contrast, chattel slavery, endured by Africans, was a permanent, hereditary condition where people were treated as property, without hope for freedom. Equating these two ignores the vastly different realities and legal statuses involved. For further context, see Smithsonian Magazine. Irish indentured servants in colonial America had legal rights and protections that enslaved Africans did not. Servitude was typically temporary, with contracts outlining the length of service and the right to eventual freedom. By contrast, enslaved Africans were considered property for life, with no legal recourse or path to liberty. Colonial laws reflected these stark differences, as detailed by the National Conference of State Legislatures. These distinctions shaped the lived experiences and futures of both groups. African chattel slavery in America was vast in scale and devastating in impact. Millions of Africans were forcibly brought to the colonies, subjected to lifelong brutality, and their children were automatically enslaved. This system denied families freedom for generations, leaving enduring scars on descendants. In contrast, Irish indenture affected far fewer people and did not create a permanent underclass. The National Park Service details how the legacy of African slavery shaped American society in ways Irish servitude never did. Irish indentured servants typically worked under contracts lasting 4 to 7 years. At the end of this period, many gained their freedom, and some received land or wages as part of their agreement. This opportunity to build a new life set them apart from enslaved Africans, who had no such hope. The Gilder-Lehrman Institute provides insights into these differences, emphasizing the temporary nature of indentured labor. A defining feature of chattel slavery was its intergenerational nature. Children born to enslaved Africans automatically inherited their parents' enslaved status. This created a cycle of oppression that lasted for centuries, devastating entire lineages. In contrast, Irish indentured servitude was never passed down to children. Once a contract ended, it ended for good. As explained by AP News, conflating these experiences erases the unique and lasting trauma of African American slavery. Race played a central role in shaping colonial society. Africans were subjected to a system that marked them as inherently inferior and created a permanent underclass based solely on skin color. Irish laborers, although initially marginalized, were eventually absorbed into the ranks of white Europeans, gaining rights and social mobility over time. This process of assimilation underscores why comparing Irish servitude to African slavery is misleading. For deeper context, see Britannica's entry on whiteness and racial identity. In recent years, social media and certain websites have fueled the spread of the Irish slavery myth. Viral posts and misleading articles often distort historical facts to downplay the horrors of African slavery or Stoke division. As Snopes reports, these narratives are sometimes weaponized to deflect conversations about race and historical injustice, making critical examination of sources more important than ever. It's important to recognize the genuine hardships endured by Irish immigrants in America. Many faced intense discrimination, poverty, and relentless labor in dangerous environments. Crowded tenements, low wages, and social hostility were common experiences, as documented by PBS. However, while these challenges were severe and unjust, they were fundamentally different from the cruelty and dehumanization of chattel slavery. Acknowledging these distinctions allows us to honor both histories without conflating or diminishing either group's struggles. Distinguishing between indentured servitude and chattel slavery is not just a matter of semantics, it's crucial for honoring the distinct experiences of those who suffered. Accurate history helps us understand the roots of racial inequality and supports honest conversations about justice today. As Brookings notes, truthful accounts ensure that the unique legacies of each group are respected and remembered. The enduring myth of Irish slavery in America not only distorts historical truth, but also diminishes the profound suffering of Africans and their descendants under chattel slavery. While Irish immigrants endured real adversity and discrimination, equating their experiences with slavery erases critical differences in law, legacy, and lived reality. Understanding these distinctions honors the unique histories of both groups. Let's commit to sharing accurate history and to fostering respectful, informed conversations about the past and its impact on our present.